everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tender Gaming. So, on this episode, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. After seeing Star Trek Beyond, I got thinking to myself, what do we want from the next Star Trek movie? Like, what can they do to kind of up the ante? Because all three of these movies, 2009, Into Darkness, and Beyond, have been really good movies, but it feels like they might be getting, I don't know, a little stale. They might need to be freshened up. So I started thinking to myself of ways that they could possibly do that I want to throw to you guys out there. And if you have suggestions as well, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll try to incorporate them into like a future episode once I like revisit this idea. So the first big thing that I think that they could do is totally give us like a new design. Like, I know you're giving us a new design Enterprise, but I'm talking about, like, the bridge as well. Because at the end of Beyond, they show us kind of the new Enterprise look. And I'm thinking, like, okay, we've had pretty much the same set with minor tweaks here and there from 2009 all the way up to Beyond. So I think it's time for them to, like, totally just wipe this, like, the slate clean and give us a totally new bridge design. So I'm hoping that they maybe incorporate some, like, older or like the original series look in there. Like, give us some of the, you know, the red paneling, or the, you know, the navigation and helm. Like, give us the red there, or give us like red on the doors, or just stuff like that. You know, you really just totally redesign it, because you have a golden opportunity right now to, again, kind of reboot your reboot in a sense of aesthetics. In terms of costumes, I really like the costumes in Beyond. I'm hoping that they maybe stick with them for a little bit longer, maybe another movie. Because you kind of get like a little bit of a taste for it, but not like a huge epic movie featuring that. I mean, they're in them for what, like half an hour then in the survival costumes. So I like the retro feel and retro look of them. I'm hoping that they stick with them, and going forward, you know, if they do mix in more of like an original series vibe with those costumes, I think it'll like mesh really, really well. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. Or if you want like totally new costumes and new designs, let me know that as well. Now, I think the thing that most people can agree on going forward is the next movie needs a way better villain. Like, Krull was okay, but you didn't explore him enough. Like, he could have been a really cool, devious kind of character. Khan, you kind of dropped the ball with, in all honesty. I don't know. You could have made him a lot more menacing. Same with like the Admiral, like Admiral Marcus. Like, he's a villain for what, like 10 minutes? Like, you didn't explore that enough. Nero was fine. I mean, Nero was exactly what he needed to be for that movie. I mean, the first movie really shouldn't be focused on the villain too much. It should be focused on like the new crew. So with the fourth movie, I think you need to focus a lot more on a villain. Like, give us like a Joker, you know, a Heath Ledger Joker, or like a Darth Vader, somebody that can possibly be reoccurring. Maybe if you're going to do another 2-3 movies, have a villain that's a constant. Because when you look at a character like Darth Vader, I know that's sacrilege to talk about Darth Vader in a Star Trek like video, whatever. Vader, you know, he's got that legacy because he is the constant. He's the constant villain. You know, he's the constant threat. So if you kind of apply that idea to a Star Trek movie and have a constant villain, I mean, hell, bring Khan back. Why the hell not? Like, you could. He's not dead. You didn't kill him. He could wake up, or like somebody could bust him out and he could wreak havoc again. So I think you need to have a villain that really has the gravity and the weight. Because by this time, we know who the crew is. We know who Kirk is and Spock is and all that. We don't really need to explore that as much. We need a villain that we all go, holy shit, that guy's a bad guy. He steals the show. You know, it's Heath Ledger stealing that movie. That's what we need, I think, in the next Star Trek movie. Now, a big thing that I'm really hoping for, I don't know if you guys are like me, I'm really craving like a huge ship fight. I just want to see the Enterprise kick ass, because in 2 out of the 3 movies, the Enterprise is just getting the shit kicked out of it. I mean, the Vengeance is kicking the crap out of it, the Bees rip it apart. I want to see the Enterprise go toe-to-toe with like a fleet. Like, I want to see the Enterprise with Starfleet going up against, you know, an equal threat. And I want to see the Enterprise at the front lines kicking ass, kind of like in Nemesis. Nemesis has by far the best ship battle I've seen in a Star Trek movie. That's what I want in the next one. I want them to up the ante from that. You know what I mean? I want to see the Enterprise really taken it, just to everything. I mean, in 2009, we get a great opening battle with the Kelvin fighting off the Narada. I want to see that, but with the Enterprise, if that kind of makes really any sense. I mean, I just want a big, Return of the Jedi. Oh my god, another Star Wars reference, shit. But I want a big fight, like a half-hour big ship battle. I think that would really help freshen up the movie as well. Now, all of this leads me into my big final point here, and that's storyline. What do you guys want to see the next story? Because I had some ideas. I'm going to throw them at you right now, and if you like them, leave me a comment, or if you have your own ideas, again, feel free to leave me a comment on those as well. My first idea, and it will never ever happen, unfortunately, is I really want to see William Shatner go up against Chris Pine. I want Mirror Universe Kirk going up against Kelvin Timeline Kirk. I want two Kirks doing that. I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think Shatner will ever do it. But I think if you explored the Mirror Universe storyline, you could do a lot of really cool stuff with it, because in the TV shows, I always really liked that alternate timeline, Evil Federation, Terran Empire kind of thing. So I think if you explored that in the next movie and you had these two federations going up against one another, again leading into a big ship battle, that could be really cool, especially if you have two Kirks going at it. Now, the more likely scenario to happen, and I've heard maybe kind of whispers of this, is having Hemsworth reprise his role as George Kirk and possibly have him as the villain, which would make more sense because all three of these movies really explore the fact that Kirk has daddy issues. Kirk has daddy issues, Spock has mom issues. They're besties. But I think that would be really cool if you had George Kirk going up against, James Kirk, and again, it was maybe a Terran Empire storyline. That I think would be really cool. The other thing that I was thinking about was, let's introduce the Klingons. You brought them into Darkness. You showed them for 5 minutes? Let's explore that. Let's have the start of maybe the big Klingon Federation war. Let's have a catalyst there that could maybe span through 3 movies. And hell, you could even bring General Chang or even Krug or Kor, for instance. You could bring them into the movies and have them as constant villains as well throughout all 3 of these movies. I think that'd be really cool if you now explored the Federation fighting the Klingon Empire as the fallout from Into Darkness. That's just kind of an idea that I've been mulling around in my head. At the end of the day, we don't know how many movies they're going to keep doing with this. The 4th one might very well be the last one. But I think going forward, if they do continue on this path, they really do need to freshen up their game. You've done 3. You've done a really good trilogy. Let's do maybe another 3 and up the ante now. Let's redesign the look. Let's redesign the costumes, the bridge, the Enterprise. Have a cool villain in there. Have big ship battles. More exploration, more alien races, things like that. Because I think you've nailed the action part of Star Trek. Let's start looking more at maybe the aesthetic appeal and the science behind things as well. Incorporate that into the movies as well as the action, because then I think you really will appease and please every fan, all the fans. I'm really happy with all 3 of these movies, but I'm wanting more now. I want bigger, grander, battles and characters and villains, things like that. So if you agree or disagree with my ideas here, please feel free to leave me a comment below and leave me your ideas for what you want in the next Star Trek movie. Hell, throw me the name that you want in the next Star Trek movie. I don't know, Star Trek The Final Generation. I don't know, something I have no idea. I haven't thought that far ahead. That was stupid of me. So as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to leave me a comment as well, and always hit the thumbs up and like this video as well. And don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook as well at Tender Gaming. And as always, I will see you all on the very next episode of Tender Gaming. Until then, make it so, number 1.